In the winter of 1922, the Hinterkaifeck farmstead sat alone against the Bavarian tree line. For 6 months, the maid swore the property was haunted, claiming she heard heavy footsteps pacing in the attic and felt unseen eyes watching her from the dark corners of the barn. These terrors eventually drove her to pack her bags and flee into the night. The family dismissed her stories, assuming the intense isolation was playing tricks on her mind. They maintained their winter routines until a fresh snowfall in March provided the first physical evidence of an intruder. Stepping onto his porch, the homeowner, Andreas Gruber, noticed a single trail of heavy boot prints. They emerged out of the dense forest and led directly to his back door. As Andreas traced the path back, he realized the tracks showed someone walking toward his home, but there were no footprints leading back out into the snow. An active, undetected threat was now operating from within the family's own walls. 6 people resided on the farm: Andreas, his elderly wife Cecilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, a 7-year-old granddaughter, a 2-year-old toddler, and a newly arrived maid. In the days following the discovery of the footprints, Andreas found fresh scratches on the toolshed lock and discovered this unfamiliar newspaper on his porch, a publication that no one in the village subscribed to. By April 1st, the entire property went silent. The mail piled up, the young girl missed school, and for 4 days the farm sat completely still until worried neighbors finally gathered to search the grounds. The search party checked the locked main house first before moving to the barn. When they pushed the doors open, they found Andreas, his wife, his daughter, and his granddaughter all stacked neatly on top of one another and concealed beneath a layer of hay. Inside the house, the new maid lay slaughtered in her quarters, and the 2-year-old boy was killed inside his crib. All 6 victims had been executed with this heavy farming tool, a sharp iron mattock pickaxe. The coroner's report revealed that the 7-year-old girl, Cecilia, survived the initial strike. She lay in the dark barn next to her deceased parents for hours, pulling out massive tufts of her own hair in agony before finally succumbing to the cold. While the coroner placed the time of death on Friday night, the search party didn't discover the bodies until Tuesday afternoon, leaving a 4-day gap in the timeline. During that window, multiple neighbors confirmed seeing smoke rising steadily from the farmstead's chimney. A sweep of the kitchen revealed leftovers of recently cooked food sitting on the counters, and the beds in the main house had clearly been used. Looking at this long row of cattle stalls inside the barn, police realized someone had carefully fed the entire livestock population over the weekend, preventing their cries of hunger from alerting the village. The perpetrator lived comfortably inside the house with the bodies for over 3 days, cooking meals, performing chores, and sleeping mere feet from the massacre. Investigators tested standard criminal motives against the specific physical evidence found at the crime scene. The theory of a robbery falls apart because the family's cash and gold reserves were found sitting fully untouched inside the home. The idea of a panicked transient is similarly unlikely, as a drifter fleeing a 6-person homicide rarely lingers to maintain a complex cattle operation for 3 days. The evidence shatters the profile of an opportunistic criminal. Whoever swung the pickaxe was highly calculated and felt deeply familiar with the property. Because the behavioral evidence suggested a killer who was already comfortable on the farm, the initial police pool of over 100 local suspects, mostly vagrants and transients, failed to provide a match. Detectives eventually focused on a suspect with deep ties to the family, Victoria's ex-husband, Carl Gabriel. Gabriel was a soldier, officially reported killed in the trenches of World War I. However, his body was never actually recovered from the battlefield. This missing body led to the theory that a traumatized Gabriel survived the war, returned home to find his family moving on with him, and systematically dismantled them. The theory of a returning soldier offers a profile that aligns with the killer's extreme familiarity with the farm's operations and their eerie comfort among the dead. Primitive forensics and a botched investigation doomed the case. The murder weapon was eventually lost, the farm was torn down, and the investigation went permanently cold. The raw facts remain unresolved. An unidentified individual walked out of the forest, lived inside the ceiling boards, executed 6 people, and vanished. Let me know in the comments which theory fits the evidence best. Was this a vengeful soldier returning from the war, or a calculated psychopath hiding in plain sight? The most terrifying historical monsters are the ones who slip back into the shadows uncaught. Subscribe for more dark history and join us in the next video.